Good evening and welcome to this edition of HPU All Access on Wednesday, November 11th, 2020. I'm Anna Harris.
And I'm Reese Arnett. Before we begin, we'd like to take a moment to thank all of our nation's veterans for their service and sacrifice. We appreciate the dedication and commitment that they give to our country.
The nation mourns over the loss of legendary Jeopardy host Alex Trebek.
And an unknown suspect fired multiple shots into a group of innocent people at a church. But first, we head over to meteorologist Gabby Bryce for a snapshot of our local weather. Gabby?
Thanks, y'all. So today, of course, we had 100% chance of rain, the high of 72 and the low of 64. Tomorrow, we're looking at a similar thing with 100% chance of rain, high of 72 and low of 54. On the weekend, cooling down a little bit with a high of 69, low of 44 with a 20% chance of rain. And then Saturday and Sunday, still that colder weather with a high of 62, low of 47, high of 65, and low of 50. And then on Monday and Tuesday, we've got a high of 62, low of 36, and then high of 55. Moving on to our regional temperatures, on the East Coast, we've got some nice weather going on. Of course, in Asheville, we've got the 68 in the mountains, Charleston 78, Wilmington 78. And then as you move west towards Nashville, we've got 58 degrees and 58 in Memphis as well. Moving on to our national temperatures. So it looks like just us has got the good weather going on. In San Francisco, of course, we've got 53, but in Dallas, we've got 48. And that's your weather forecast. Back to you and Anna, Reese.
It's with deep sadness to announce that Alex Trebek, the host of Jeopardy, passed away in his home early on Sunday morning, surrounded by family and friends, after battling stage 4 pancreatic cancer since March 2019. For the past 37 years, Trebek has hosted the infamous game show Jeopardy, hosting more than 8,200 episodes and setting a Guinness World Record for hosting the most episodes of a game show. Mike Richards, the executive producer for Jeopardy, states, and I quote, "His belief in the importance of the show and his willingness to push himself to perform at the highest level was the most inspiring demonstration of courage I have ever seen. His constant desire to learn, his kindness, and his professionalism will be with all of us forever." Trebek died at 80 years old. We are sending our deepest condolences to the community at Sony Pictures and the Trebek family at this time.
This past Sunday was a sad and scary one for those who attended the Living Water Baptist Church on the 1300 block of Brentwood Street. The High Point Church was holding a service outdoors when a shooter opened fire on the group of worshipers. Police found one man dead and a few other victims suffering from minor injuries. The shooting happened at around 3:30 p.m. and no suspect information has been released. Anyone with information is asked to contact the High Point Police Department at 336-883-3224 or Crime Stoppers of High Point at 336-889-4000. Now it's time to head over to Ray Johnson for a coronavirus update. Ray?
Hey guys, it's Ray, and welcome back to another COVID-19 update. As of this morning, there are 301 cases in North Carolina, along with 4,264,597 completed tests in the state. Thankfully, only 1,161 are hospitalized across the state. It is rumored that our re-elected Governor Cooper wants to place North Carolina back in phase 1, but this has not been confirmed as of yet. On a national level, more than 132,700 new cases were announced across the United States on Friday, November 6, 2020. Along with 1,000 deaths for the 4th straight day as of that date. Unfortunately, this virus does not seem to be slowing down, so please continue to be safe and wear your mask at High Point University. However, there is a total of 14 active cases, 9 of students, 5 staff. If only the world took a page out of our university's book as far as numbers. That is all I have for tonight. Back to you, Anna and Reese.
Well, I have to say, as bad as it is outside of High Point's campus, I have to say it's nice that it's doing so well in here.
I definitely agree.
Well, we'll be right back after this message.
Have the langoustine lobster ravioli.
For you, sir?
The original call was for langoustine ravioli. A langoustine is a tiny kind of lobster.
Slight shellfish allergy rules that out. Plus, my wife ordered the langoustine. I will have chicken tenders and tater tots.
If you're a ref, you way over-explain things. It's what you do. If you want to save 15% or more on car insurance, you switch to Geico.
Sir, we don't have tater tots.
It's what you do.
I will have nachos.
Sheets run and done.
Musco Lighting. We make it happen.
Welcome to Freddy's. What can we get started for you?
I haven't had a carb in 3 weeks, and if I have one more sip of a kale smoothie, I need a Freddy's Original double with cheese, fries, and a turtle sundae. Please.
Coming right up.
If you're gonna be bad, it better be good. Being bad never tasted this good.
Bring it on.
Freddy's, the experience that puts a smile on your face and the taste that brings you back.
Welcome back to HBU All Access. I'm Anna Harris.
And I'm Reese Arnett.
Now it is time to head over to All Access Sports with Ethan Smith. What's happening in the sports world, Ethan?
Thanks, Anna. I'm Ethan Smith, back at you guys again with another sports update. We are officially halfway through the NFL season, and here's where we stand. Pittsburgh, after an admittedly ugly 24-19 win against the Dallas Cowboys that almost saw a comeback led by former AAF champion and leading passer Garrett Gilbert, have remained undefeated to stay a perfect 8-0 on the year, and they sit atop the AFC North and currently possess the #1 seed in the AFC playoff race. Kansas City at 8-1 hold down the #2 seed and the AFC West after a surprisingly close win over the Carolina Panthers, one that saw Christian McCaffrey score 2 touchdowns in his return for Carolina, and Patrick Mahomes throw for 4 touchdowns, 2 of them to Tyreek Hill. Buffalo remains the leader in the AFC East at 6-2 after a dominant win 44-34 against the Seattle Seahawks. The Bills never trailed or were tied with Seattle. Josh Allen had a whopping 410 yards passing and 4 touchdowns, and Buffalo's defense picked off NFL MVP favorite Russell Wilson twice. Tennessee is your AFC South Division leader at a 6-2 after a solid 24-17 win over the Bears. Titans quarterback Ryan Tannehill threw for 2 scores, and defensive back Desmond King II had a 63-yard scoop and score. Despite a 17-point fourth quarter and 335 yards for Nick Foles, the Titans came out on top. Elsewhere in the AFC, Baltimore holds down the first wildcard seed after a dominant defensive win over Indianapolis, while 4 5-3 teams, Miami, Oakland, Indianapolis, and Cleveland, are battling for the 6th and 7th seeds in the playoffs, with Oakland and Miami currently holding on to the positions. The NFC South leading New Orleans Saints have taken the #1 seed in the NFC at 6-2 after they secured a dominant 38-3 win over Tampa Bay. It is the worst loss in terms of point differential in Tom Brady's long career, and he didn't make things much better for himself by throwing 3 interceptions. Seattle holds down the #2 seed despite the Buffalo loss, and they remain atop the NFC West. Green Bay remains atop the NFC North with the 3 seed after a win over San Francisco on Thursday Night Football. Aaron Rodgers had another monster game with 4 touchdown passes. And the pitiful 3-4-1 Philadelphia Eagles somehow remain the leaders in the god-awful NFC East after their bye this week. In the wild card race, Tampa Bay holds on to the 5 seed at 6-3 despite the blowout loss to the Saints. The Cardinals hold on to the 6th seed despite a nail-biting loss to the Miami Dolphins. And their division rival LA Rams maintained the 7th seed after their bye. The NBA Players Association has approved the 2021-22 season to start on December 22nd. The season will see a reduced 72-game schedule with a confirmed November 18th NBA draft and December 1st start date for training camps. The season will include televised Christmas Day games and is projected to finish in July before the Summer Olympics are scheduled to take place. The Minnesota Timberwolves currently hold the #1 overall selection in the NBA draft, and the battle for the top pick seems to be between American point guard LaMelo Ball, the shooting guard from the University of Georgia Anthony Edwards, and Memphis' center James Wiseman. ESPN currently projects Ball to be the top pick, and it was reported that Minnesota met with the top prospect back in October. Finally, in a very inspiring story, a young man from Florida became the first person with Down syndrome to ever complete an Ironman triathlon. 21-year-old Christopher Nikic completed an Ironman triathlon held in Panama City Beach, where he swam 2.4 miles, biked 112 miles, and ran 26.2 miles in 16 hours, 46 minutes, and 9 seconds. Nikic received praise all over social media, including a heartfelt message from tennis legend Billie Jean King, who wrote on Twitter, quote, "Congratulations to Chris Nikic, the first person with Down syndrome to complete the grueling Ironman. No limits, no boundaries, keep dreaming big and going for it," end quote. That's all I have for you guys this week. Anna and Reese, back to you.
I think that story about Christopher Nikic is pretty darn remarkable. Let's head over to Joe Moronsky and Lauren Rollins for All Access Politics.
Thanks, Anna. Welcome back to All Access Politics. I'm Joe Moronsky.
And I'm Lauren Rollins.
Well, it has definitely been a week to remember. Since we last saw you on Tuesday, November 3rd, a lot has happened. Let's break it all down. Let's start with the presidential election. So obviously, a lot of the major news networks have called the election for President-elect Joe Biden. Currently, he's sitting at 279 electoral votes, and President Trump is sitting at 214. What are your thoughts on this all?
I think that nobody knew which way this election was going to go. It was really up in the air, and I know that people are celebrating the victory of President-elect Joe Biden, but I know that many people are mourning the loss of President Trump, and I think that it'll be a very tough transition into the Biden-Harris presidency.
Yeah, that is definitely something to remember is just as many people, President-elect Biden had the most votes in history, but President Trump also received 71 million votes which is definitely something to be proud of. No matter what side of the aisle you're on, voter turnout this election was history-making, and that is something to be proud of.
I agree. I think since the new generation did get the opportunity to vote and make their voices heard, that it definitely made a huge impact in the outcome of this election.
Yeah, it really did. Currently, President Trump has lawsuits open in Arizona, Georgia, Michigan, Nevada, and Pennsylvania. Those are all ongoing with the exception of Nevada, where the judge has rejected the suit. We have a lot of changes that could still happen. The Electoral College votes are not due until December 14th. So who knows what could happen between now and then.
Exactly. I think that we just need to all hold on to our seats and just brace ourselves for what's to come.
Definitely. And now we're going to talk a little bit about the United States Senate, which has definitely been another on the edge of your seat race.
I agree. Currently, the Republican Party is 1 point away from having the majority in the Senate, and I think that that could change a lot regardless of who is determined to win the presidency in whoever's eyes. So I think that whoever wins the Senate will definitely be a bigger factor than possibly even the president-elect.
Yeah, it truly is. With that one seat, it truly is going to define how the next president spends their term. President-elect Joe Biden is known for his ability to work across the aisle and compromise. And a Republican Senate, although it's not what Democrats had hoped for, might be something that forces people to come together and start to work together again.
Right. I think that throughout this race, throughout this journey, our country has been the most divided that it's been seen in several years. And I think that it's time for us to come together as a country and be on one team instead of dividing ourselves.
Definitely. Now let's talk about the House of Representatives. Democrats did maintain their majority in the House, which is a big victory for Democrats. What are your thoughts on that?
I think that Democrats are definitely taking this as a big win. They know that they need to have a voice in the House, if not in the Senate, which it doesn't look like could happen for them. So I definitely think that they take this as a huge win, and I hope that the House and the Senate will learn to work together in order to do what's best for the country and for the citizens as a whole.
100%. And with that, there's a whole bunch of key races that we still need to watch that are changing constantly. In Georgia, it looks like we're going to have 2 runoff elections in January and many more to come across the nation. So we need to keep our eyes peeled because things could change.
I agree. For those Georgia voters, the runoff elections begin on January 5th. So make sure if you're a resident of Georgia that you get out there and vote.
Definitely. And of course, something that everybody, no matter what political party you are a part of, can be proud of. We did have a whole bunch of barriers that were broken, a lot of history that was made this election cycle. First and foremost, obviously the one that everybody knows, we have the first female vice president, the first black vice president, and the first Asian vice president. Smash those all into one. We have the first female, black, and Asian vice president. That is something to be proud of.
It's groundbreaking. Honestly, it's one of the biggest moment in American politics. Nobody expected it to happen, but I think that it is something that needed to happen in this country to show women of color that there is a place for them in politics.
100%. In Delaware, we have the first openly transgender senator, which is another amazing step forward. And we actually have 2 openly gay black men who were elected, which is amazing to hear.
I agree. I think that this is a big step with Sarah McBride. I think that she was a big step in helping LGBTQ people realize that there's someone in politics, there's someone that is here to be your voice and be here for you. And I think that that's something that we definitely needed and something that we've been missing.
We've been missing it for far too long, and it's amazing to see somebody in there now representing not just LGBTQ adults, but these youth who now can look up and truly see across the aisle, there's a place for you. And we would be remiss if we didn't address the fact that there were a record number of female Republicans elected. I mean, all across the board, this election cycle has created so much history, broken down so many barriers, and we encourage you, be proud of it. No matter what side of the aisle you're on, this is something to be proud of.
I agree. Movement for some of us is movement for all of us, and I think that we all need to take that to heart for sure.
Well, thank you for joining us on HPU's All Access Politics. Back to you, Anna.
Thank you, Joe and Lauren. Now it is time to head over to our entertainment specialist, Riley Mannion, to give the inside scoop on all things entertainment. Riley?
Thanks, Anna. What's up, everyone? It's Riley, and welcome back to All Access Entertainment. Celebrities such as Chrissy Teigen, John Legend, Selena Gomez, and Lady Gaga have all been celebrating President-elect Joe Biden and Vice President-elect Kamala Harris's win. Teigen and Legend went into the streets of California and to join the celebration, sitting on their sunroof, cheering alongside the people. Lady Gaga, who has been a huge voting activist, has been extremely vocal about the win, expressing her excitement and relief. Other celebrities have been very vocal about the win, and Kim Kardashian West tweeted in support of Biden, even though her husband Kanye was running for president. Tasia Adams finally made her debut as the new Bachelorette after Claire Crawley made her departure with her fiancé. Tasia will still be dating all of the men that were on Claire's season, and even expressed concerns that she will be their second choice. The Bachelorette airs every Tuesday night on ABC. Last week, NBC Today show Al Roker announced that he is battling prostate cancer. Roker's co-hosts have been vocal about letting fans know that he is doing well, and Hoda Kotb even went on to announce that he is in a good mood and it is all looking good. We wish Al Roker a safe and quick recovery. That is all I have this week for entertainment. Back to you, Anna and Reese. We'll be right back after these messages.
High Point University is focused on preparing students for the world as it is going to be. There's a growth mindset in our institutional DNA. So while our campus growth is impressive, the true relevance lies in how HPU creates an innovative learning environment that fosters the entrepreneurial spirit in the minds, in the hearts, and in the souls of our students. This is High Point University. Extraordinary.
Welcome to Freddy's. How are you guys doing?
Meetings. Lunch meetings all week. All salads.
Bean salads.
Quinoa salads. Heirloom salads.
Frisee salads. Sometimes a guy needs a Freddy's Original Double, Chicago Dog, and a Turtle Sundae.
Make that 2, please.
3.
Absolutely.
If you're gonna be bad, it better be good. Being bad never tasted this good. Freddy's, the experience that puts a smile on your face and the taste that brings you back.
I'll have the langoustine lobster ravioli.
For you, sir?
The original call was for langoustine ravioli. Langoustine is a tiny kind of lobster. Slight shellfish allergy rules that out. Plus, my wife ordered the langoustine. I will have chicken tenders and tater tots.
If you're a ref, you way over-explain things. It's what you do. If you want to save 15% or more on car insurance, you switch to Geico.
Sir, we don't have tater tots.
It's what you do.
I will have nachos.
Welcome to Freddy's. What can we get started for you?
I haven't had a carb in 3 weeks, and if I have one more sip of a kale smoothie, I need a Freddy's Original Double with cheese, fries, and a turtle sundae. Please.
Coming right up.
If you're gonna be bad, it better be good. Being bad never tasted this good.
Bring it on.
Freddy's, the experience that puts a smile on your face and the taste that brings you back.
Sheets run and done. Musco Lighting. We make it happen.
Welcome back to HBU All Access on Wednesday, November 11th, 2020. I'm Anna Harris.
And I'm Reese Harnett.
Now let's head over to Meredith Haddock as she interviews a special guest on this week's Student Highlight. Meredith?
Thanks, guys. Hey, everyone, I'm Meredith Haddock, and this is back with Student Highlight for the week. Today we have an actor and HPU student, Blake Jones. Blake, thanks so much for coming out. We're so happy to have you here.
Of course, I'm very excited to be here. Thank you very much, Meredith.
Yes, so tell us a little bit about yourself, your year, your major, and where are you from?
Of course, so I am a senior from Marietta, Georgia, and I'm currently a double major in international business and marketing with a minor in Spanish.
Nice, very nice. And what all are you involved in on campus? So talk to us a little bit about all that kind of
Of course, so there are quite a few things. I'm in our honors program here on campus.
Nice.
I'm also in the Offbeats, which is our co-ed a cappella group.
Okay.
I am in Charcoal Pony, which is our improv group on campus. I'm also a SGA senior class officer for us.
Wow.
So, and I'm also a club gymnastics team member as well.
And fun fact, we're actually ambassadors together.
Yes.
So that's kind of fun
That's
as well.
right.
Another thing that you're involved in. But it seems like you're involved in a lot of things. You have a lot of passions
For sure.
everything. But recently, over the summer, we want to get into, a movie just released that you were casted in. So
Yeah.
talk to us a little bit about that, kind of the experience about it and what the movie is about.
Of course. So the movie I was cast in over this past summer, or that came out this past summer, was called Irresistible, starring Steve Carell. And so essentially for this film, right, the first time I went in and auditioned for it was just a self-tape audition.
Okay.
And what that means is you go in and your agent will basically let you know that you've been casted based on your headshot. So you have the look for the role.
Wow.
And they'll let you know that they want you to do your primary audition. You go in, you tape that, and then if you get called back, that's when you go in person.
Oh,
and so I went in for my in-person audition with just a few people that looked exactly like me, which if you want to have an identity crisis, that's it, folks. But it was a great time.
Oh my gosh.
Ended up booking the role, which was great. And so was able to work with Steve Carell, a bunch of other great actors that day,
Amazing.
and it was a lot of fun.
Oh my
So-
gosh. Did you actually think that you were going to get the role, or during the whole process you were like, there's no way? You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
what was your mindset throughout the entire time?
That is a great question, and so many people ask that. One of the things they say is you get about 1 out of every 75 auditions that you go for. So when you put yourself out there,
Unbelievable.
most likely you're probably not getting it, so we kind of do and then forget is the main way
Yes.
that actors kind of keep moving through.
Mhm.
So when I got the call that I had booked it, of course I was super excited. I had to refresh myself a little on the project, but it was still a great time,
Yeah.
and that's kind of how it goes with a lot of things. It was the same with Sully, with Tom Hanks, very
Oh
similar
my gosh,
process.
yes, absolutely. So you were talking about Sully. So you've been in a lot of different acting experiences and a lot of different movies. What has been your personal favorite or something that's really like stuck out to you?
Of course, it's so difficult to choose. I'm gonna have to say though that I think Sully was my favorite project, just because of the opportunity that presented. It was probably the first, it was the first feature film that I had a more principal role in. I wasn't just an extra in it.
Gotcha.
And so because of that, it was just an incredible opportunity. And of course, being compared to a young Tom Hanks is really cool. I don't think I deserve that, but I'm very happy for it. So,
and personally, Tom Hanks is my all-time favorite actor. So talk to us about like meeting him and acting with him. Do you have like a specific memory or anything?
of course. So unfortunately, I did not get to meet Tom Hanks himself.
Wow.
And that's because he was doing Bridge of Spies at the time. He was doing promotion for that. So he didn't want to come down to Georgia just to film my flashback scenes, right? Because we wouldn't be in the same place.
No,
But I got to meet Clint Eastwood, who was the director of the project. And basically, I was the only actor on set that day. So I had basically that one-on-one time with him the entire time. And I remember one specific scene where we were filming B-roll where I was in the biplane, right? And he's in a black helicopter. And you know, kind of like those mounts on the side of helicopters? He had a camera in there. And he was behind the camera just filming me from this helicopter. And I'm like, what in the world? How old are you, sir? You know, I mean, he was just going for it. And he's a very involved person. He has a great energy about him. Oh my goodness, it was a great time.
Wow, that's so amazing. So you've obviously had a lot of different experience. Is this something you want to maybe pursue in the future as a career? Have you thought about that?
That is a great question. So obviously, I'm here for my education, right? So the main thing I want to go into is a full-time career, and I've been doing international business and marketing. So I'm planning on actually going into sales, and hopefully eventually international sales.
Oh, great.
But that doesn't mean acting is off the plate.
Yeah.
I'm definitely extremely interested in doing it as at least a hobby on the side, where I'm able to still audition for projects and hopefully film some projects so I can still pursue my passions while also not living paycheck to paycheck.
I was about to say, you got to think realistic, but you also have those kind of passions that you're obviously very passionate about. But you are coming back to campus, coming back to, you know, you're here on High Point's campus, getting your education like you were talking about. You're involved in Charcoal Pony.
Yes.
And is that something, kind of talk to us about, you're also involved in, what was the other one that you listed? It
Offbeats.
was Offbeats. Yes. So if people like who are watching wanted to get involved in that, kind of talk to us about how you can, how fun it is, you know, all that kind of good stuff.
Of course. So both of these require different skills, but what you're going to see is the main one that comes between them is a certain stage presence, a certain public speaking skill that comes to it. Because with improv, this is, again, this is off the top of your head stuff, okay? So you don't have a script that you're going off of. We just know the games we're playing, the scenes we're going to be in. That's completely up to the imagination. And we go off of the suggestions that are going to be in the crowd. So that's the main thing that we work on there, and it's you got to be very adaptable to stick up with that. Now, with Offbeats Acapella, that's been a great experience. I've actually been in that a little bit longer, but we're able to do some great concerts, some great philanthropy events where we're able to get involved in the community. And I've always loved to sing. It's always been my thing. Maroon 5 is a great band. What can I say? Adam Levine inspires me every day.
Oh, wow.
But it was a great time. I absolutely love being a part of it.
Yeah, awesome. Well, thanks so much for coming. We're so happy to have you here. It was lovely talking to you and catching up with you, as always. Tune in next week to Student Highlight to feature another HPU student. And back to you, Anna and Reese.
Thanks, Meredith. Now, for obvious reasons, it may not look like fair season right now, but the Central Carolina Fair is doing its best this year to bring its visitors a little taste from the usual event. The Central Carolina Drive-Thru Food Fest is coming to Greensboro and will begin November 13th and go through November 15th. All of the typical food vendors from the fair will be taking cash-only drive-thru orders in the Greensboro Coliseum complex each day from 11 to 9 p.m. While it may not be the spectacle that the fair usually is, the organization hopes that this can still bring some happiness to those who are sad about missing the fair this year.
Republicans in North Carolina are pressing state election officials to make information on outstanding ballots public. There are nearly a dozen Election Day races that remain too close to call, and as many as 172,000 ballots have yet to be counted or rejected. This Friday would normally mark the deadline for the North Carolina State Board of Elections to finish counting all the votes. But due to the record-breaking number of absentee ballots, an extension has been put in place. According to Fox 8, Over 100 total ballots were found in different sweeps in Greensboro USPS facilities over the past week. Workers are sorting, storing, and locking them up to count them on November 12th for when the next ballot count is set. As of right now, North Carolina may be the last state to present election results. Well, that is all we have for you tonight on HPU All Access. Tune in again in January for our first episode of 2021. For HPU All Access, I'm Anna Harris.
And I'm Reese Harnett. Have a great weekend, High Point.